Hello. Okay. Storytelling Ron. I am creating a new For the Lord RPG, Apostles of the Epoch campaign. And we'll see how it goes. But I'm starting with an entire new group of men from a church who want to try it out. They've never even played a role-playing game. Why am I doing this? Because I'm telling you, For the Lord RPG has gotten me to want to do more for the Lord. I want to do more for the Lord. So I go to Grace Community Church under Pastor John MacArthur, and it's a big church, but it's 30 minutes away, through LA traffic, so that could be 40, depending on the time of day. And I used to do some homeschooling stuff there, blah blah blah, but now I'm not really doing anything there. And as far as like helping out, and there's a waiting list for a couple things that I was trying to do. So I just want to get more involved with church, and I decided, I was like, wait, there's a church nearby, and they're struggling here in Hollywood, and their sound theology, because the pastor comes from Grace, or the seminary. And so I was like, I just want to help. I just want to do something, and I wanted to bring this game to the church. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting my neck out there again and again for the Lord, just because I love the Lord. And now because of this game, I'm just everything I want to do is for the Lord. Like every sort of entertainment, I want to shift towards the gospel and the mission and story. In the storytelling, I want to tell stories about missionaries. In my fiction, in my sci-fi, in my fantasy, in my zombie apocalypse, whatever it is, the place that people go for refuge and building their strength up and courage is in a church. And no one ever wants to depict that. And even Christians don't depict that. And that's what frustrates me, because that's actually what happened in medieval history. Whenever there's a tyrant, whenever there's despotism, whenever there's a siege, people go to the church for their solace, their help. Whether it's successful or not, doesn't matter. That's where people go. And that's where they build up. And think about it. Whenever there was an oppression, who's going to help you? Who's going to help you with justice? The people went to the church to seek justice against the government, against the tyrannies. And it was the pastors and priests and reverends who discerned the issue, had their members, look at it, and then organized a resistance or communication line of communication with the tyrants. That's the way the West was built, and most of these dukes and barons and princes had to deal with and work with the church, and the church always had a compassion to it. They reminded people of compassion. That's where the West comes from. And we are erasing that. We are erasing that in our stories. Children are not learning that anymore. They're learning that Islam is good and Christianity are a bunch of hypocrites, because it is the godless who are running all that. The godless are running the entertainment industry. They're getting us to have dissipation. Dissipation is, in the Bible, it's about, you should not drink too much, Paul says, because of dissipation, like waste of time. It's a waste of time. They want to waste our time with dissipation. With the glorifying of mundane fantasy and godless fantasy, godless sci-fi, and not bringing our faith into it. Because if we brought our faith into it, we would start to germinate things. Okay, another preaching thing there. So my full desire now is to really do this. Okay, so what do I do as a post-apocalyptic thing here? I got to create a campaign. I got to start a campaign as a GM. And I've done this many times, and I've only actually run one or two campaigns, and I have several that I could use, like that I haven't even used much of. But I don't want to. I want to start over again, because I enjoy doing this. And each of the hexes is going to be an adventure. And I've already done like dozens and dozens of those, for the other campaigns. But I want to do it again, because I just enjoy doing it. It's so much fun to roll these out and then try to put the puzzle together with what I've rolled out. So let's do it. And this is literally going to be new players who have never played a role-playing game. We're going to be playing at a table. I'm going to get to use this. You can see, I'm going to get to use real dice. Yes, because most of my games right now are online. But I've got some new dice I want to use. I'm really excited. I'm going to give them the goofy little dice. I'm going to got trays. I'm going to have printouts of all this stuff and printouts of the little tokens I got. And I'm pretty excited. All right. And I've been going to this church. I've been going to the men's group, the Wednesday group, and just getting to know the pastor and telling him what I want to do. And he's like, he wants to try anything. And that's where you need to go. And I'm not going to the Sunday service, which is a bit of a bummer because I'm still going to my old church, because I'm still part of that church. But I have to make a decision or work it out somehow. But I am not a member of this church, and I that's a full open discussion. So I could not actually run this ministry at his church, at the local church, which is fine. I want that humble. I would have to commit to the church to be an actual member. But I'm trying to see if any of the members would like to maybe be in charge, and I would help minister this. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If I transition with the wife to this church or not. I'm just not. I don't want to make any harsh decisions. With leading my wife right now. I just want to just take it easy and slow and see if things work out, help out in any way I can. Okay. Here's the home base. These are from the. I'm using a previous campaign, and I just moved all of these hexes over here as extras. And these are all tokens, but I turn them into little books that are notes for each hex when I place them. So these are just easy ways of me making little notes on each hex. And I just moved them back over here. And then these are just titles of the hexes, which I haven't, my little system. My little system here is not in the book. I just made this up as I was creating my own campaigns, the mapping coordinates, which is, typical of any GM. You're going to create your own, organize it in your own way. But the basic premise is that you make these hexes and make a map out with your hexes, whether you use these or you draw it out and, have some sort of naming convention to know where you're at. Okay. Anyway, so the 1 is the first ring around the hexes, and then 2 is the bigger second ring, and 3 is I don't know how far the campaign can go, because each hex is basically, hopefully each hex is 1 evening of gameplay. It could be 2, depending how complicated you are. Anyway, so the team is going to be in here, and obviously I got to still make their characters. I'll do that later, but now I'm going to just decide on what the hexes are around it, and then what's in those hexes, because they're going to have to do sort of a scouting mission around the border of their home to see the different hexes, and they'll get some rolls there for scouting, and then I'll give them bits of information on each hex, what they think they've scouted and seen, and then they're going to go out. All right, so let's do that real quick. Here's the book. It's a PDF on my website, and it's also on Amazon as a hardcover. Let me go down to the adventuring part, the GM prep part. This is it. Okay, creating hex world, hex map prep. All right, I'm going to start with this here on the left. Start with terrain hex. I'm going to roll a d6 to figure out which one. I'm going to start with the north one, let's say. And here we go. Roll. A 2. All right, what do we got for 2? Flatlands arid. Okay, let me get a little booklet going here. Let's see, do I have one? I have an arid here, right? So this one, and I'll just go ahead and name it right now. Can I just type in? I forgot how this works. Ow! I deleted it. I'll do it this way. Okay, text. 1 north is just arid, flatlands, okay? And in this little info thing, I have this right here is the basics for the. Now this is from an older one, but I'm going to delete it because I just don't want to look at it, because I want to start fresh and new, just because I love doing it. I don't want to get influenced by the previous one. And that's from a mission, the West Marches that I try to start up on my Discord, but I didn't get enough players to get that going. But hopefully, I will slowly build up, because I've got a bunch of what happened there. Why can't I delete this and save? What? That's very strange. I can't just delete. Okay. Oh, I accidentally deleted the. Okay, there it is. Ah, where are you going? Come back. I think I accidentally deleted that. That's a problem with this thing. If you delete in the wrong place, you can delete the token and not the text within it, which is, yeah, okay, that's it. I've done that a few times and I finally realized that that was the issue. But anyway, so be careful of that. If you're here and you don't have this open to edit, and then you hit delete thinking that you're deleting this, it'll delete the actual token itself, which is really weird. So I have to remember about that. Let me keep that open then. Okay. All right. So, since I got an arid token, or hex, let me go ahead and move it. An arid one. Let's see. That's a wasteland one, I think. This is a wasteland because I can see the steam rising. This is an arid right here. Okay. Let me move this one here. All right. You know what? I'm going to do each one right now, and not do the adventures just yet. Let me do the adventure because I might as well. All right, this is this, and let me roll it out. Yeah, okay. All right, we got arid. Let's move over to features. 2 rolls, d6 each. All right, here we go. Starting with features down here. 2 d6s. Okay. The top one and the bottom one. All right, so a 5 and a 4. 5. Abandoned or failed settlement small may be an old campsite. -1 die rank salvage roll for D8 sections. So that's up to D8 times they could roll and look around. Roll encounter chance while each section is searched. Ooh. Okay, so something could pop up. Put that in there. And I did a 5. Unique site increase salvage to +1 die rank. Oh, okay, so let me just increase it. So let me just go ahead and put +1 die rank. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. You know, let me just put that note in there. Unique salvage. All right. Increase salvage 2. Don't increase by, but 2 +1 die rank, which is interesting. The way I worded that. That may I probably should have just said increase by +1 die rank, but I said 2, so I'm going to keep it for the fun of it. Okay. Anyway, that's fine. Well, I'm going to correct it here because at some point I may add it. Okay. Uniting site increase salvage. I'm going to do, for the fun of it, by increase salvage by D6 die ranks. Yeah, just to make it even more random. D6 die ranks. Or I'm going to make it D4. A little smaller. All right. Let's do it that way. I know. I just changed it, even though I'm not going to change it in the book or the PDF, but that's okay, because at some point I'm going to update the whole thing with whatever new rules. But I'm going to keep, every now and then I just see little things and I should just clean it up. Okay. So let me just follow that little thing I said there. D4. Let me do a D4. 3. So now it's +2 die ranks because it was at -1. So, all right, we'll go to 2 die ranks. That's cool. Alrighty. What else is next? Extra features. Roll a D4. If 1, then roll it on this one. Okay. D4. Roll it. A 1. Okay. Roll a D12. An extra feature. 7. A dark hero rescues or appears just in time. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's... Ooh. It's going to be some sort of... Oh, that's... Ooh. Wow. Oh boy. Okay. They have that option. Or that's going to be a possibility. Okay. I wasn't ready for that one. Okay. Aggression table for beast and tribes. Okay. This one I'm going to move because I haven't rolled any beast or tribes in my... Oh, did I forget to roll? I forgot to roll under arid. Oh, sorry. I actually forgot to roll the arid hex setting here. Flatlands arid. Okay. Let me roll. D6. Yeah, this isn't actually supposed to be not here. Okay. That's not supposed to be there because I got to roll it first. Okay. Roll a D6. I forgot to roll that because that could then 1. Ruins. Small localized siege. Oh boy. Fix that. Search. Search and salvage. +1 die ranks. Okay. Well, I've already got a feature there, so I'm going to go ahead and just have it be with that. And I'm just going to add it again. So, +3 die ranks. Search and salvage. So that's it. There's nothing else going on here. I mean, don't worry. I'll figure something else out. Well, the thing that's going on here is that when they search, let me go ahead and roll D8 sections. When they search, there could be encounters. So that's 7. Wow. 7 sections. Roll encounter chance while each section is searched. Okay. Whew. So, this is the encounter roll here. So I'm going to put that in there just to remind myself. Encounter 1 and 6. Batuyo. Oops, let me put the numbers in. I wonder if I should pre-roll it. But there's 7 sections, so one person could search each section. So, but they would be split up. So let me take a note on that. So, sections are big, so they'd have to split up to search them. So that's an issue. So issue with time and distance adding to encounter rolls. So I'm going to I wonder if I should prepare the 7 sections. But if they say search 3 sections all at the same time, okay, each section is searched. So I'm gonna say 7. There's 7 encounter potentials because it's not based on time; it's based on the section itself. So let me do that. Let me just do that. Pre-do that now. Yeah, let me just pre-do that right now. All right. There are 7 sections, so let me just do 7 d6s and see if I get any ones, and then I will roll that, and then I will just decide on where they go. No ones. What do you know? Okay, there is no encounters. That's not going to be fun. All right, let me just... I'm trying to follow the rules. So let me follow the rules. There's no creature rolls. There's no melee. No range. Okay. There's no more rolls. Okay, then you know what? A dark hero rescues or appears in time. I'm going to have to do that. That's my encounter. Because I rolled none. Let me put a note here. Rolled 7 sections, no encounters. So the dark hero. Wow. I think the dark hero is going to be someone who's going to give them information. But they can try to convert this dark hero. Huh. Man, this is tough. Let me roll the dark hero's conversion level. Ooh. Now, he's evil. That doesn't mean he's going to kill them. He's just, CL2 manipulative evil. Okay. It doesn't mean he's going to kill them. He's just, like a Conan the Barbarian or whatever, like very, very, if they don't attack him, he won't attack them, but he's very suspicious, very, very manipulative, wants to take stuff from them, but he doesn't feel like, something is telling him not. Since he's a dark hero who rescues or appears just in time, I'm not going to have him be a villain unless they push that, which I don't think they would. But I want him to be someone that they can tell he's evil, but he just doesn't want to. He comes across him, give me some food, or else, everything they do is probably going to be nice. So he's going to let them go. He maybe because he doesn't see them as being like the evil things that he's been dealing with, in the survival. So they'd have to work on him quite a bit. Survival, kill, backstabber, but hungry, medical needs, medical attention. So I'll make a character, but I'm just going to make him be kind of vicious and nasty in a sense in his responses, and that don't trust anybody out here. And he can tell that they're not killers, right? He can tell that they're who they are, and he's just going to try to get some food off of them, some whatever he can, and just that's his thing. He just take advantage of them. He doesn't want to kill them because they could be a source of just help here and there of them. Use them, but let them go. Let them mess with others. So he let them go and deal with problems around. All right. So he doesn't mind letting them suffer the consequences of stuff, and then he'll see if he can pick up the pieces afterwards. Take advantage of that. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Well, I gotta make this guy's name or whatever. All right, I think I have a chart. No, in this one, at the very bottom here, I have extra little, like, funky stuff. Where is it? Here, survivor names. All right, let me roll. He's kind of. I'm gonna say since he's a dark hero, he's at the oppressor level here. So let me roll that. 3d20. 10 to 18. 10. Civ 2. Tor 18. Civ Tor. Civ Torthil. Very strange. Civ Torthil. Civ Torithil. Civtorthil. Civtor. I think I'll just say Civtor. Civtor the ill. He's a bit sick. There we go. I'm going with that. Odd survivor shacks. All right, let me give him a pagan religion. Because he's going to have a pagan religion. Something he believes in this weird world or weird. 4. Sacrifice humans. Ooh, children, weaklings. They can be of any kind of pagan order that appears good, helpful, warrior-like, whatever, but inevitably they have the need to perform human sacrifice. This one does their own, not others, so peaceful in that regard. But boy, are they very, very defensive and antagonistic to anyone who tries to take away their rituals to their demon god. Oh, I don't really want to start off with this group. I'm going to say he fine with not sacrificing humans, but fine with letting others die. Like, he might even be fine with them dying. Let's die so he can survive. Civtor the ill. Okay. I'm just kind of building up something weird here. All right. Odd survivor shacks is just some fun little extra ideas. Let's see here. This is more hexes, which you can use. I think that's it. Okay. What I want to do here is maybe... Okay, Yeah, see this mini manual digipad or location D20. This is kind of like all the different things of the that could be found or whatever. But I'm going to use it to sort of maybe give me a little bit of a what he's like category. I'm going to try it. That's basically like when they find digipads or resources, I roll it to see what kind of digipads it is. So what category? 17. +1 armor, DR armor to vehicles. 17. So I'm going to say, yeah, he's got a vehicle. You know, he's in an armored vehicle. Some, you know, that's his, you know, road warrior type of thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. Road warrior armored vehicle. So he could go and just shoot them up, but he doesn't want to because maybe they're a resource. You know, like traveling merchants. He might just assume that there's some sort of traveling merchant type, or you know, someone with resources that he could just take advantage of and then and go on his way, because they don't look like they're the warrior types or, you know, raider types. Okay. I'm gonna have to delve into this guy even more, but this is the good cursory thing. He may come into that area when they're searching the area, you know, so that'll be kind of scary for them. They're like, oh, who's this guy? He's waiting outside, you know, whatever. Okay, he's trying to discern if they're good, or you know, he can manipulate them, whatever. All right, that's enough for there. Whew, that's heavy. Okay, let's move on to the top right here. Now it's not toxic, obviously. I'm going to roll and decide or figure this out. All right, let me get back to my regular hexes. That one, this one, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. D6. 6. Ruins. Ooh, ruins is the scary one. Okay, let me get the ruins going. That's the one that has potential. I don't think on the first map I'm going to do it, the first level, but it has the potential to trigger the Empire. And when you trigger the Empire, that's where you start, you know, adding in more epic sort of plot struggles, where the Empire starts to encounter the missionaries, and they start to go back to their central empire and tell them, and so you start having more repeated, you know, attacks by them or whatever, and they could even go after the churches. All right, anyway, let me type in ruins, northeast ruins. Let me find a ruin token over here and pull that up over there. Do some notes without deleting this thing. Okay. Oops, let me keep that open. Alrighty. And let's start the... Okay, ruins roll. D6. 3. Alright, what's 3? 3 is hidden base occupied by dangerous or savable. Okay, so I'm going to roll on that one. Hidden base occupied by dangerous or savable. Let's just roll, continue on and see. Here, feature. I'm gonna roll 2d6s there. Those are just extra things to roll if you want or not. 6 and 5. Ooh, 6 and 5. Ruined, unique building or sector from before. D6 sections, each may have one salvage roll. Okay, that's simple enough. Adds flavor. The hidden base is probably within those ruins. And then roll a 5. Unique site increase salvage by D4. Okay. Which I feel like if it's going to be inside, if there's a hidden base, I feel like that would have. I'm going to do it that way. Unique site is them trading, maybe, or if you beat them, they have a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to do it that way. So unique site, their hidden base, increase salvage, increase gear trade by 4 die ranks. So I'm gonna, do something with that. They have something cool that keeps them alive or whatever. That's kind of neat. Okay, extra feature. Let me roll that. It's a D4. 3, no. So no extra thing there, which is fine. This has got plenty going on. Okay, so the aggression table. Oh, for beast and tribes. Well, I haven't really decided what if they're evil or not. But either way, they could. It's still a good. Either way, it works whether they're peaceful or evil. Let's see here. 10. Oh boy. Sees, watches, calls for help, follows at a distance until reinforcements arrive if needed, waiting for right moment to sabotage or attack. So this is if they're evil, but I mean, the good will still do this, but they're not going to necessarily attack them. But that's their strategy. So they will if they need to. Okay, so they're okay. Let's do the tribal social economic level of this group. 2. Okay, see, that helps. Hopeless, weak, enslaved, and worshippers of nearby gang or beasts living in hovels. All right. That's interesting. That's an interesting mix of 2 strategies there. Encounter roll. Is there an encounter roll in this thing? 1 in 6 chance per hour, use encounter table. So that's... let me start off with I want to have 1 encounter ready just in case. So let me go ahead and just roll it as if it succeeded. Okay, so D6 for the type of encounter. 1, bad weather. Okay, that's. Let me roll for the bad weather type. So in case they get this, I will have this ready. 3. Severe heat or rain, cold, may add gear preparation to help. Okay, that's fine. It's severe. First encounter. Severe heat. Okay, I'm gonna do another one just to have one kind of ready. Another one ready in case I need it. Because this is a ruin. So 2. Toxic condition. Okay, we got some stuff happening here. And I may just go with those 2 at the maximum for this encounter because I don't want to keep throwing stuff at them, Toxic pollutants. Okay, that's fine. That sounds kind of cool. Like, so what it is severe heat or rain or cold. You do your prowess or spirit to resist it. Just toughen it up. And whatever you fail by, it's a 12. So if you fail by, let's say your total is an 8, you fail by 4. That's 2 die ranks. Half of 4 is 2. You're at 2 die rank penalty for this until you convince the GM that you've dealt with this situation, the heat, rain, or cold, whatever I decide. And let me just roll for it. Let me say heat, rain, or cold. So that's 3. So let me roll a d6 and 1 heat. Okay, severe heat. So okay, toxic pollutants. So if they can, convince me how they deal with the heat, then I'll reduce the 2 die rank penalty. And again, the 2 die rank penalty is something I use as the GM on them. They don't use it, so I will add 2 die 6 as a d6, or 2 die ranks is a d6. So I'll roll a d6 and add that to whatever difficulties I tell them about something. Okay, toxic pollutants. Pro spirit 12 again, resist, or damage die in water, salvage areas, ruins. So I think this is just foul toxins that just kind of spew up from an old ruined city, and they just have to deal with it. And again, another same thing. Whatever they fail by is a die rank result as damage die. Oh wait. Okay, so what that means, same thing. Let's say they roll an 8, and the 4 is the difference. So half of that is 2 die ranks. Whenever they take damage, they get an additional d6 damage. Now, it's not additional d6 in the sense of you add a d6 to them, like a power die. It's an additional 2 die ranks you add to the damage of the weapon or whatever that is attacking them. So let's just say a rat bites them and has a d4 bite. Damage is a d4. Okay, d4 is 1 die rank, so I'm going to add 2 more. So this is now a d8. Okay, so the bite of the rat is going to be a d8 damage. You add 2 die ranks to it. Because they're so ill, they're so toxic that they're very susceptible to pain. And so if a little rat bites them, they feel right. When you have a flu and you feel really you know, in a lot of pain, and so that's what that is. And remember, taking damage isn't just like it's not a bigger bite. It's the same bite from the rat, but you're just feeling the shock of it through your joints, just like you would a flu, right? A flu, you feel pain all around you because you're in a state of pain, because your body is putting you in a state of pain. So it's that kind of a interpretation. Okay, so 2 encounters, and these are enough, I think. Two encounters. I'm just gonna say no more necessary. It's enough in this area. Okay. What else are we gonna roll here? Oh well, since they're hopeless, weak, enslaved, and worshippers of nearby gang or beast living in hovels. So nearby gang or beast living in hovels. So which one? Let me roll. Roll a d4. A nearby beast. Cool. That's gonna be fun. They worship this beast. They give to the beast. The beast protects them. I would say that they consider the beast to be their protector because it roams around in the ruins, and so no one comes to their hidden base, right? So let's roll the beast, and I'm gonna say the beast should be pretty big. So I'm gonna roll here on this beast critter thing, and I'm gonna roll. Well, it says beast, so it is automatically a beast. Beast roll 2d6. Keep highest for attacks. Okay. All right. So it's not a critter and it's not a predator. It's a beast. Okay. So. Oh, let me at least roll. Oh, beast 2d6. Keep highest. Up here on top. Oops. All right. Let me do that. 2d6. Keep highest. That's how we started off. All right. Let me roll that. Sorry. So. It could be a critter if I roll low on these 2d6s here. 5. Okay, so it's definitely a beast. Then I roll 2d6 again for the types of attacks. 2d6. 4. Stinger or fangs plus poison. So I'm going to say a giant spider. You know, giant arachnid mutant thing. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me roll the type of critter here. Right here, d12. Now, if I would have, you know, and if you roll higher and higher and higher, you get more and more types of attacks. But I think this is enough, especially for newbies. All right, let me roll. I think it's a d12 for type of critter. Type of 10. Crustacean. Okay. So it's some sort of scary crab with fangs plus poison. I mean, or something plus poison. You know, like a scorpion or a. What would be something like that, like, you know, some sort of armadillo looking thing or crab, you know, whatever. I can come up with something. So let me write that down here. Okay. Scary crab beast with fangs, poison. Or claw poison with, I know what, with toxic claws. That's, you know, same thing. Roams in guards area. The wretched locals worship it. It has a 1 in 6 chance of it has a separate 1 in 6 chance of coming out from its slumber, unless the gong is hit. There's a big altar industrial gong setup. See, that's kind of cool. I just thought of that one. So that's a neat way of like being freaky deaky. They discovered this big gong. Like, what's this for? You know. All right, now I'm gonna roll the people. What kind of people are they? Let me see. Okay, so this is. I kind of want to title this here. hidden base of weak cultists. Right? Basically, that's what that is. So, heading 3. Okay. They're God. They worship this crab thing. Their protector. Their protector. Their god. Their guardian. Okay. I'm just organizing this for myself. 2 random encounters. Alright, this is pretty neato, I think. Okay. Well, +1 direct session there. Okay. Alright. D6 sections. Okay. Let me roll it. I mean, this is the ruins. There's going to be a ton of sections, so. So this is, I'm going to, okay, 6 sections. Each may have 1 salvage roll, but since this is uniquely called out, I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 die rank, more intact than other ruins. Because of the giant crab and the hidden base, this area looks more intact than the rest of this. And I'm going to make it more like a small town than a huge city. So small town ruins. So, which is fine, which is a good way of doing this. Okay. Now let me roll the cultists. Are they good, bad, whatever? And I'm just going to roll a basic D8. They're not necessarily evil. The crab could just be their, that's just their, it's just advantageous to them to have this big crab there protecting them and keeping their base hidden. So let me just roll a D8, and either way, they could be super evil or they could be ready for the gospel. Oh. Man. And this is a church group, too. Man. Ooh. Occupied by violent CL1 plus 5 die rank resist. Primitive. Terrible. Disease-ridden worshippers of the crab beast. Oh, this is pulp. Wow. Wow. I was hoping for a little more fun, but this is like an initial look at this. Anyway, but I'm following it. I like to follow the rules because it challenges me as a GM. 40-year veteran GM. All right, that's that one. That's enough for now. I'm gonna, later this week, I'm gonna build some maps for this. Or, I got to do this as a printout. Ergo, I've got to I got to reinterpret this now. See the 6 sections here of a town. I got to make sure I understand. I have enough assets to bring to the table for that. I got to have enough assets for this entire thing, ready to pull out. All of this is to me is just printouts, so it's not that hard. It's not. Thankfully, what I have isn't that difficult. But I do at some point here. I'm going to write this note here. I gotta just to remind myself. Make list of what needed for tabletop assets. Because I don't know which way they're going to go. And remember, we're doing it on a table. All right, I'm just going to remind myself of that. All right, let's go on to the next one. How long have I been recording? Because I'm just showing you how this works. Where's my recording time? Wow, 44 minutes. All right, let me do one more, just to show you another example, and then I'll finish it because it's going long. All right, let's do it real quick here. I'll try to go this a little faster. D3 or D6, 3, forest. Okay, forest. Oh, let me roll the type. this is going to matter for a tabletop, but give me a feel for mutated forest. Oh, okay, mutated forest. Ooh, mutated forest. Okay, I'm gonna consider that for the mutated forest. All right, let me. I'm doing some labeling here. Mutated forest. Some giant mushrooms. Is the simplest thing to do there. Let me grab one of these tokens and move it in. All right, let me just type. Okay, this one's. Oh, let me take out this part. Just because I'm customizing it for this one. Okay, that's the generic thing there. Drive test or have to remove forest debris. 1 in 6 chance along road, but pretty safe if driving through without stopping. 1 in 6 chance encounter along road. Okay, anyway. So the drive test they have to do is at -1 die rank, so 12 plus a d4. And they got to beat that as the drive test. Otherwise, they just got stuck, in some debris, and they got to deal with that. And I would just have somebody do a d12 roll or 12 roll, beat a 12, using their savvy, and maybe they have a chainsaw, something to clear out the area and roll it. And if they fail that, then they damage their weapon, their thing, or take time and rations for extra food, whatever, something simple like that. Okay, let's do some rolls real quick. D6 for the forest. D6. 6. Forest. Hidden settlement of cultists who worship and live in fear of mutant warriors. Savable. Okay, so they're savable. Fantastic. So I won't even roll conversion level. Fantastic. Finally. Worship and live in fear of mutant warriors. So we got mutant warriors, though. This is a mutant forest. Very cool. All right. Now I'm getting a little excited here. All right. Let's do the extra features just for the fun of it. All right. 2d6, I think. A 4 and a 6. Some sort of ruins or crash site, tragic or battle occurred. Salvage rolls, roll encounter before search and after. I think the only main thing they're going to encounter is the mutants. And what is this? 6. I said 6 and 4, I think, right? 4 and 6. Okay, 6. Oof. Toxic site. Okay, that makes sense. Just type or copy paste and then I'll read it. Paste it into my little info. Okay, toxic site. Prowess Spirit 12 plus D12 test, or take affliction based on the die rank fail by. May use meds to help resist. Comes on slowly if salvaging an area. Rad suit resist easily. Okay, so let me go ahead and roll the toxicity here. 10. Ooh. So Spirit 22 test, or take affliction based on die rank fail by. That's severe. May use meds to help resist. May use meds to help resist again. So I'm going to type that in. Comes on slowly if salvaging an area. Rad suit to resist easily. Because the rad suit will resist against toxins as well. So okay, sorry, I'm just reading it again. I'm thinking out loud, or not out loud. I should be thinking out loud. Okay, some sort of ruins or crash site, tragic or battle occurred. Salvage rolls, roll encounter before search and after. Toxic site. I'm gonna combine those, right? The ruins or crash site is a toxic site. And I want the crash to be like a spaceship, because this is, or something like that. Laboratory, whatever caused the mutations, right? That's what we're talking about here. So that's. Let me kind of write this down. Source of mutation. There we go. Okay, let me do heading 3, not 2. Heading 3, so it's not so big. Okay, Source of mutation. Okay. Desperate survivors. Here we go. Desperate survivors. So they got some people to save, and then they got this toxic thing to deal with. All right. Not disparate. Desperate. Okay. All right. Very exciting. Okay. Let's see if there's an extra feature. Roll a d4. 3. Nope. And aggression table for the mutants, the beasts. Yeah, let's roll that. D12, right? The mutant types. We're gonna have not a D20. D12. Roll a D12. 12. That's evil. Draws all strength and power for a full front attack of overwhelming force, no matter what. Aw, yeah. This should be fun. Okay. Don't get me too excited. All right. Desperate survivor, source of mutation, mutant, gang, warfare. I don't feel like they have a warfare. Mutant gang onslaught. Mutant gang horde. Oof. Okay. Once they know there's some outsiders out there, they're gonna just attack. Not savable. Not savable. So they gotta definitely fight these people. Man, this is a high. These couple of hexes here are super high level. kind of a thing. Do I need to roll anything else? Because that's. I'm a little scared there. All right, the survivors. They're gonna let me roll their, little flavor there with their tribal, social, economic level. 3. Makes total sense. Who worship and live in fear of mutant warriors. Okay, so 3. Shamanistic, sacrificial, mystic. Others make offerings to a reclusive, odd tech or location. Okay, that's fine. Let me just write that down. It just gives flavor, to this group. But they're obviously savable, so they're not going to be. They're certainly looking for a way out of these. They fear these mutants more than anything. So. But they just accept their plight because that's all they can do. Okay, there are potential for other encounters. So let me roll 1 as a prep, and that'll give me sort of a sense of maybe what's also in the area, if anything, because it's like crazy. I'm hoping for a mutant beast, 6. Beast, roll times 4 die, keep highest. Okay, there we go. I just got a little thrill up my leg. Roll times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep highest. 6. Oh yeah. Roll again. If 6, roll on monstrosity table. If 5 or less, a beast, roll 3d6 for attacks. Okay. Roll again. So I'm gonna roll 46 again. 5. Okay, so we got a beast with 3d6 for attacks. Okay. 3d6. 1, 2, 3. 5. Tentacle plus grapple. If so, then bite attack. Okay. I was kind of hoping for a monstrosity, but oh well. Encounter 1 and 6. Counter, and then I say this is common. Like these are common beasts in the area. Yeah, common beast. Tentacle, grab, and bite. These are the main top predator in the area. So you can encounter these a few times. Ooh, what am I doing here? I don't need to do that. I just need a D12 for the type of creature this is in the area. Let's add flavor to the 6. Reptilian, secretive, ambush, poisonous, stalking, fast tracking. Yep, this makes total sense. Okay. 1 and 6 counter. Perfect. Okay. I think that's it for now. That's how I do it. That's how I create my worlds that they're going to be going into. Is there any more I can do? Not at the moment. Anyway, I'm just sorry. I gotta think out loud. I gotta remember. Okay, so I've done 3. I'll do 3 more, and then at that point, I'll make a list of what I need for the tabletop. Make sure I have sort of the assets for them, because we got some cool stuff happening here. All right. So that's how I do it. And I'm going to work on this some more, but I think the video is long enough. All right. I'm taking this to the church to do it with some guys there, and I'm going to tell them the goal is to be a group that fellowships with this game, and then we invite others from outside to come in and play, or fun game, but learn the gospel. And when we invite others in, we're inviting people in that we're wanting to be part of the church or wanting to be Christian, so however that works out. And also we could take this out to game conventions or whatever, but I want to make sure that these men know that they don't have to do this ministry. If they don't like role-playing games, or if this is not their thing, that's totally fine. I don't want them to they have to do this. That's not at all. If they enjoy this, if they get as obsessed with it as I am, joyfully, and would like to do this as their ministry, great. If they don't want to do this, or they just it's take it or leave it, or it's just a fun pastime thing for them, that's fine too. I just want them to have this as an option for a ministry that they could do in the church. And I would only think 1 or 2 of them, including myself, would be the actual, say, this is our ministry, whereas the others would just kind of have fun just joining in and playing once in a while, kind of a thing. And that's fine too. So it's not about all of them or whatever. It's just about, and it's also about us taking our time doing this game, seeing who likes to show up. Does it help them in any way? Does it encourage them in the Lord? It's a fun pastime, but something they can do with their kids. Take it and do it with their own kids, or whatever. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. I hope that you're doing something like that too for the Lord. This is fun. This is fun for me, and I'm hoping that this is something that, to me, my idea is that this is something fun for you to do. You're into RPGs, you're addicted to RPGs, but they are dissipation. They lead you away from the church. This one leads you towards the church. The dice mechanics are a bit tricky, and I'm open to showing you guys. I do live plays. I put my money where my mouth is. Whatever. I walk the walk. I talk the talk and walk the walk by throwing up there all of my GMing. So you can see how I do it and I don't edit, probably out of laziness, but I do it on it, just show it as it is, the real RPGing. And I went real RPGing with Christianity, and we're doing it, and we're having a great time. And as you can see, I can throw in all kinds of meat and peace and still be biblically adherent. Yeah, hardcore. All right, in the game of life, everybody, roll holy dice.